Hey, this is Gore, and he's Good Night Breakfast, and you're watching GrapChats!
And what a week it has been in professional wrestling. Welcome back. This is the long-awaited episode 5 of the GrapChats Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Did you pop yourself on the intro?
Did I what?
You pop yourself? You half laughed halfway through that. Did you make yourself laugh?
I saw you moving something and doing something. I'm like, I'm trying to stare straight down the barrel, right? I'm looking right here down the barrel, and then you're down here being a clown and doing some shit.
How dare you? That's deeply... I haven't intentionally derailed this immediately at all.
Not at all.
Such. Unbelievable.
Now, as I said, it is the long-awaited episode 5 because due to some just very rude and inconsiderate weather patterns around Sydney, around the Greater Sydney area last week, we didn't get a chance to...
Nature knocked out my power last week because we had a bomb cyclone, which one is the coolest name of an anything, right? There's we're gonna have a bomb cyclone. I'm like, that sounds both dangerous and sweet. And it was
super exciting, but might destroy my house.
It was very fun to listen to. Although I will say, I think I got woken up at 1 a.m. By wind outside that sounded like the world was crashing down. It was kind of terrifying. I could well imagine just terrified small children as well. And dogs, I assume, as well.
Yeah.
It sounded like what I assume is the sound of ordnance dropping. It was a lot. But
they can be like that sometimes, yeah.
Is fun-ish, I guess.
But nonetheless, it is a new week. There is another week of pro wrestling we need to talk about because it never ends. And that's good, but exhausting, but good.
It's what we want. I really want it to end. Why would you ever want it to end under any circumstance? You want it to keep on.
It's not one of those shows that has seasons. Where you can...
I mean, it sort of does. People they consider what Mania to Mania is a season. And then for AEW, I think it's all in to all in. Yeah, the season immediately starts again.
yeah.
Instantly.
It's like the talent get a designated rest period where they can heal up all their injuries and then come back.
No.
Nah.
It's not really what happened. But speaking of things that do end, the first bit of news I wanted to touch on is that apparently good old JR is cancer free.
Hey.
Fuck yeah. That's a good thing to end.
By God, he's gonna live.
And he will be on the call for All In, apparently, coming up this weekend, which is great. I mean, look, it is always great to hear JR, and he is still capable of being a fantastic commentator.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, but even just at a basics of human decency, Mazel Tov for beating cancer. It's the greatest. It's the best. Fuck cancer. Fightful reported that AEW is apparently being much more picky with signing ex-WWE talent due to past situations of talent signing, not enjoying it, and then going back, which, fair. Also, their roster is gigantic and awesome. They can be picky at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they can be. I think the last ones would have been the Hurt Syndicate, and the Hurt Syndicate has been sweet. So I want to see Lashley doing more, but even then I understand because aren't Shelton and Bobby a combined age of 100?
Yes, I believe
and
so.
And somehow more jacked.
They are freaks of nature in that way, I think, yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head how old they are, but they don't look like they've aged in the last decade or two.
No, they do not. Not. I am slightly late with this one because this is something that happened a couple weeks ago now. But Rhea Ripley had a very candid interview with Chris Van Vliet. It is a fantastic listen. I'm not going to go and summarize it and do all the bits and pieces of it because it's not. You can just go and open YouTube or Spotify or whatever you do to listen to Chris Van Vliet and go do that. So can thoroughly recommend. Is very much worth listening. In other Rhea Ripley news, someone clever figured out that in the last 365 days, the Women's World Championship has been defended 8 times. Rhea Ripley has either defended or challenged for that belt in every one of those matches except one, which was a Saturday night's main event between Liv Morgan and Io Sky. It is kind of insane.
Are we saying we're a bit mummy heavy right now?
Like,
we're leaning a bit too hard into one talent?
Like, no. Like, please keep putting Rhea on the show and having her wrestle all the time and be on the show because she's great and she should be on the shows and wrestle all the time because she's clearly great at it. But like, I know I think we've missed the show where it happened, where it seems kind of insane, where she had like 2 different opportunities to earn a world title shot and didn't succeed. And then Io Sky just went like, I want Rhea to challenge me, so she's next. And it's like, it's straining logical reasoning, and it's wrestling. It doesn't always have to make logical sense or frequently make logical sense, but like, there should be something to it.
Yeah. I would love to see, just because of how dominant she has been right across the women's division, and given that there's a precedent for her to have physical altercations with the men, just let her wrestle the men.
Yeah, it would be sweet. It would be sweet. And because I'm afraid she's going to get to like Charlotte territory, where it feels like the only time she ever does anything is for a title. And as a result, I don't care.
Yeah, I put her in a blood feud for something other than the title.
100%. 100%.
And they can build that. Easy, they can build that.
1000%. Speaking of Evolution 2, which is coming up this weekend as well, that was originally planned to happen on July 5th and was then moved to July 13th because WWE wanted to do more competing with All In Texas that weekend. Sure. Great. Tremendous. Whatever. Cody and Roman are both going to be in the new Street Fighter movie. Roman Reigns has been cast as Akuma. Cody Rhodes has been cast as Guile. Sure. I mean, look, I'm sure it'll be fun. The Street Fighter movies have never been great movies. No, but they are.
That being
fun.
said, I think, action movies heavy on fight scenes are kind of the best way to transition wrestlers into acting. Mm-hmm. It just makes sense to do it that way.
1000%. Speaking of phenomenal acting and phenomenal action, the lovely gentlemen of MXM made their DDT debut recently. If any tag team was suited to go and work at DDT Pro, the illustrious holders of the Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Championship discussed earlier, it is those two. It is a really good time. It's really, really funny. You can tell they're having the most fun. Yeah. Please go and find that on YouTube or Twitter or on social media, whether it's clips or the full match. It is well worth your time if you are more of a fan of like the silly wrestling bits. Yeah,
I love the little bit they do at the end of matches now where they pose with the referee. Like that. Yeah.
It is. It is always good.
Cool, fun thing.
And then a couple bits and pieces from kind of like icons of wrestling's past. Kevin Nash most recently talked about how he gets annoyed at Raquel Rodriguez working too small. He likes the idea that she is a big, powerful person and should work as such. And I think there is a point to that. I mean, look, Kevin Nash was famously like, do the most with the least. Him and Scott Hall were very, very good at kind of doing the most with the least.
Yeah.
But there is a thing to like, if you're a big, strong person, just not everyone has to try and do the Keith Lee. Like, you can just be big and strong.
Yeah, like, and you look at a lot of Kevin Nash matches and it's like, well, it's not as if he didn't bump for talent that were smaller than him. He did do that, but earn it. Come running in with a whole heap of momentum and hit fucking hard. And yes, he'll bump. And yes, that is exactly how Raquel should be working.
I am super with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Let her be powerful.
Yeah.
A few more bits and pieces of Legends Past. One of my favorite things most recently was the podcast between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. It's like, what is it? What do you want to talk about? I think it is. Where it's sponsored by a vodka company. They drink a lot of vodka. Kevin gets real drunk. He's noticeably hammered.
Just a couple of chaos gremlins. It was great.
For sure. But there is this wonderful moment of him kind of putting over Cody talks about how he went to Kevin when he left WWE to be like, tell me about the indies. And KO talks about like, well, the guy before him was Colt Cabana. And that Colt Cabana is the reason that KO got Twitter. He's like, you have to do this, tweet all the day, be on social media. And that Colt Cabana is the reason that Pro Wrestling Tees existed. It was originally 1 hour tees. And he was trying to find a way to help Kevin Owens get merchandise and essentially like organized it with the owner of 1 hour tees.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, look, the precursor to, you know, most wrestling podcasts is even this one, I guess, is The Art of Wrestling. That's Colt Cabana. Same with the vlogs and the videos you used to film is kind of the precursor to what the Bucks did with BTE. Essentially, the wrestling landscape as a whole looks very, very different without Colt Cabana.
Colt is the one to thank/blame for the overabundance of wrestling podcasts out on the internet.
Thanks,
hey,
Colt.
Colt Cabana, how you doing? Yeah.
Thanks, Colt. Really nice to meet you in Brisbane. And then
Wait,
the
you
last
met Colt?
little...
Why did I not get this story until now?
He was at the before the show. They did like a pre-show kind of like Q&A bit, and it was emceed by Bryce Remsburg and Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana is effortlessly funny, like stand-up comedian doing crowd work funny, effortlessly funny. And then on top of effortlessly funny, the wrestlers we got to kind of do Q&A with was MXM and the Outrunners, which was very, very good time. The Outrunners, they were hitting like poses with this boy in the front row. He looks like he's having the best, just like hitting the double buys with him. Yeah. And they were like totally putting him over. We all like went ballistic for this kid getting to like hit the big double buys, do the Predator handshake with the Outrunners. It was a very, very good time. It was very fun. Nice. And then the last little bit was Christopher Daniels also most recently had an interview with Chris Van Vliet. He talks to everybody. And talked about Tiffany Stratton essentially doing his finish from the best moonsault ever to the prettiest moonsault ever. And he said the fact that she goes from the bottom all the way up and then does like a pay homage to call it even in a similar name of the PME rather than the BME. He's like, that's really cool. He's like, I can't be mad. I always appreciate that. I've never met her. I've never spoken to her. But he's like, it is wonderful to see that kind of stuff. And it's always wonderful to see people who did do so much for wrestling, like Christopher Daniels, who had, before his retirement match with the Hangman, like a 33-year career, like wrestled everywhere. Like, and Fallen Angel rules. He rules. Yeah.
I like that when, in those instances where a new up-and-coming wrestler will use a move from an older wrestler, they do it, but they do it in a respectful manner. When it's done that way, I'm 100% on board. And that looks like that's sort of what's happened with Tiffy and the moonsault. So awesome. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Christopher Daniels may make another couple appearances later on in this podcast because he's been a busy boy apparently this week. But that is all of the various news I collected over the last 2 and a bit weeks, I guess. Yeah. Should we talk about some shows briefly?
I think we shall. Because, yes, we're building up to Evolution and to Saturday night's main event and to SummerSlam all at the same time.
And to All In this weekend.
And All In.
And I guess Supercard as well. Supercard of Honors this weekend also looks really good. Like, just super briefly. I mean, it'll be harder to get, obviously, because it's on their streaming service. Nick Wayne versus Titan for the RH World Television Championship. Lee Moriarty versus Blue Panther in that rematch of what happened when Bryan Danielson got involved down in Mexico for the RH Pure Championship. It is the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara against the Infantry of Sean Dean and Charlie Bravo for the tag team titles. Athena is versus Thunder Rosa for the Women's World Championship. And then the ROH World Championship match will be between Bandito and Konosuke Takeshita. There is no filler on that card.
Yep.
That is all fun. So, yeah, if there's ways to find that, it should be really, really good. If it is really, really good and I see it, you will hear me talk about it next week. Unless
many reviews
something goes wrong again.
Yes.
Yeah, God, fucking, that's right.
Planning another catastrophic weather event. we will have quite a few reviews to do next week.
I didn't think about that. I might streamline Dynamite and Collision aggressively next week so I can talk about All In.
Yeah.
Well, look. Depending on how All In goes, will depend on whether you see a podcast next week. Because if it, we'll talk about it. If it's not, I might quit wrestling. If it's not, like just watching it. So we'll get there. You talk about Raw.
Okay. Monday Night Raw starts with Rhea Ripley. Can't go wrong. Rhea opens the show talking about her victory over Raquel and looking forward to Evolution 2. Cue Io Sky, and for some inexplicable reason, her challenger at Evolution is just going to be chosen by her. There's no Battle Royal, there's no Top Contenders Tournament. It's just, you pick Io. And Io goes, yeah, I'll pick Rhea. Because we've already wrestled several times over the past year. And yeah. So that's our world title match for Evolution. Io versus Rhea. I mean, they don't have bad matches. Their matches are great.
Like it'll be sweet. Like it's not gonna suck or anything. It's just the logic to get. We already discussed it. The logic is not super logical, but I mean, it'll be really fun.
Tag team title match. Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day versus the New Day. Battle of the Days.
That's right.
We have new ring gear for Xavier Woods. He's now a boy that rocks the briefs.
He wasn't as pimpin', but that's still good.
But still, yes, he's decided to rock the briefs. And Judgment Day work as babyfaces now. Okay. And it was a clean babyface win for JD and Finn Balor. So they're the tag team champions. And, yeah.
Man, the New Day heel turn.
It was so red hot when it happened.
Anyway, and look, it's one of those things where that happened anyway, but man. Anyway, please.
Sheamus versus Rusev. Large, meaty men having a meat slapping good time.
Yep.
We had power slams on the floor. We had knee drops off the top rope. Everything in this match just hit ridiculously hard. They beat the dog shit out of each other. It was awesome. Rusev pulls Sheamus into an exposed turnbuckle, then hits a big head kick, and the match was over. As you can imagine with matches involving just two big guys slacking the shit out of each other, it can be like a heavyweight UFC fight. It can just end like that. And that's kind of how this ended. One big head kick and see you later. Karrion Kross jumps Sami Zayn backstage, so their program's still going, and hits him with a pipe. Cool. And that comes into play for later on in the show. A good bit of story building for Gunther and Goldberg. Gunther comes out to cut a promo, just running down Goldberg, accuses him of riding Gunther's coattails into retirement. He's really leaning heavily into the fact that technique-wise, they're not on the same level. And that's perfectly fair, I think, to do. Now, Seth comes out with Paul Heyman and the briefcase. Seth makes a point that he went all the way to Saudi not to cash in, but just to screw Punk. So, hater of the year, Seth Rollins. Hell of a way to travel just to fuck someone over. And for that, yeah, that's kind of cool. Punk enters, brawls with Seth.
Like when AJ Styles did it in Elimination
Perth,
Chamber,
yeah.
in Perth.
I
when
came
it was
to
on the
Perth.
card. Just to fuck over LA Knight. Yeah.
I didn't like going all the way to Perth. AJ came all the way from America to Perth.
Phenomenal dedication to hatred.
Yeah. Gunther tries to stop Punk, tries to separate the brawl. Then Seth runs off through the crowd. LA Knight is in the crowd, jumps him from behind, and they brawl through the concourse. It looked really cool.
Cool.
So a decision is made that now Raquel and Roxanne Perez are officially the women's tag team champions now that Liv Morgan is injured.
That seems fair. That seems fair. You can still kind of keep it in that kind of vein with the unfortunate injury. I know it's not like how that works, but I don't know. That seems fair to me.
But they have to defend.
Yes,
so
yes.
Of course they have to defend, and Roxanne is officially voted in as a member of the Judgment Day. Now we have, after that, women's Intercontinental title, number one contenders match, Bayley versus Lyra. Very good match, as you can imagine with those two. Match was great, a lot of back and forth, and an interesting finish. Basically a bridged German suplex. It doesn't quite go properly, so both shoulders were down, so the matches were a draw. They're clearly going to go for a triple threat for the IC title at Evolution. I don't know if that's been officially announced yet, but that's most likely the case, I'd say.
Cool.
LA Knight and Seth Rollins announced for Saturday night's main event. That dark horse pick to just steal the show.
Yeah. I mean, look, Seth doesn't have bad matches. Seth doesn't have a bad match. LA Knight is fun as hell. Also super good.
Yeah.
So, that could be phenomenal, actually.
Sami Zayn and Penta versus our Big Bronnies. The Big Bronnies are out. And this match was great. Sami Zayn, so he was selling the ribs from getting hit with the pipe by Karrion Kross. That sort of story, that goes right through the match. And just big move after big move, and they find their way out of all of the big power moves. Now, Sammy, he suplexed Bronson Reed, which looked amazing. Like, how do you throw a guy that big? And immediately gets up and walks into a spear from Bron Breakker to win. Reed lines up Sammy for a tsunami after the match. Jey Uso runs in to make the save. Faces stand tall. That was the main event. I mean, it was great. It's one of those things where you've just got to see it and experience. Oh shit, that hit hard, because that's how the Bronnies are. And it was a great match and a great episode of Raw.
Hell yeah.
Shall we go into Dynamite or straight into SmackDown?
I can do Dynamite. We'll do it. We'll do them sequentially.
Yeah.
Our beloved babyface Hangman opens the show, come out and kind of fierily keep cussing out Jon Moxley and told him, talking about how he would happily ride through death itself. You can wrap chains around my neck. You'll have to kill me before I let this pass by. And formally challenges Jon Moxley to escalate this battle to a Texas death match, which they have done before. Both of them have done plenty of times. Also once with each other. So that should be suitably violent. And now I'm slightly regretting telling this story to my 9-year-old daughter and telling her about the cowboy who's going to win, because I think I might have to let her watch this, which I might have to watch it first, depending on how much violence they do.
So you can just sort of do the eye cover at certain moments. Just not this spot for you, little one.
Yeah, Mox comes out. He doesn't immediately agree to it. He gets attacked. Hangman gets jumped by Yuta and Claudio. They kind of Marina Shafir slaps him in the face. Claudio hits him, but he still, Hangman still gets back up afterwards, saying is that the best you got? Claudio runs back to do more damage, but is cut off by the ops. He gets the kind of briefcase from Marina Shafir, holds it above his head, and then to put the exclamation mark on the segment, hits the buckshot lariat on Marina Shafir, and he laid that in. No part of that looked gentle. I assume because Marina was either okay with it or asked for it. And I think Marina, and I don't know if her and Roddy Strong are married or just a couple, but Marina's got some pedigree there. So plus, plus former, like
UFC fighter, judo,
yeah, exactly, UFC fighter, things like that.
competitive judoka for a long time, and I think
she took a stiff goddamn lariat.
Oh yeah, and yeah, she would have said, "Lay it in, or I'll call you a bitch." Like you could, if he had gone,
and he did.
Yeah, if he hadn't snugged it, she would have just been calling him out as a bitch backstage. You can guarantee it.
1000%.
Yeah,
Roddy would have been like, "What was that? What was that? What was that?"
Yeah.
Your first match of the evening on this AEW Dynamite 300, by the way, their 300th episode, is the TBS champion Mercedes Moné versus Marina Shirakawa. Toni Storm is sat ringside with Luther, obviously, to watch this unfold. She looks kind of throughout the match very kind of like concerned and stoic because previously Mina had said, "Do not interrupt, whatever happens, like this is my match, let it be my match." And it is an excellent match. It's worked very much kind of Joshi style, very like strike heavy, very fast, very hard hitting. Shirakawa is super close. She hits the glamorous driver. Like Mercedes just kicks out. She goes to hit a second. But Mercedes kind of, I guess, uses Toni Storm's more patented finish recently and hits the roll up, hits the cradle, and pins to retain the TBS title. After the kind of match, there's some consoling, and Mercedes lays out both Toni and Mina kind of facing each other as she kind of like taunts them from the rampway.
I like that Toni did not run in until Mercedes went for extra shots after the match.
Not until it concluded. Correct. Yeah, true to her word.
Yeah. Keep that relationship between those two, 100% up because they work well together. So they're better.
1000%. 1000%. The next matchup was the four-way match for the second spot in the men's casino gauntlet that will happen at All in Texas for a future world title shot. Your competitors are MJF, AR Fox, Brody King, and Anthony Bowens. This is all types of, like, every type of wrestling. Really early on, MJF tries to pay off Brody, just hands him a wad of money and goes like, "Those guys?" And he kind of discards that and throws it away. Anthony Bowens is working fast. AR Fox is doing his crazy stuff. MJF is trying to be like kind of conniving. Brody is smashing everyone. He's very much up there with the like, you just kind of have to see it. He hits a suicide dive onto Bowens and Fox at one point. He has a triple kind of not the rolling thunder, like cannonball in the corner to kind of like smash them all as well. Like it is, it's a four-way. It's all chaos. And then MJF, though, does kind of lock in that Salt to the Earth submission, forcing a tap out from AR Fox in the end, in the chaos, to secure that number 2 spot. After that, Mark Briscoe comes out, who has secured the number 1 spot in a shirt that I believe says MJF has a small pickle and says, "You have ensured yourself an uninterrupted ass whooping."
It says small kosher pickle. Yeah. Just sneak that in there.
It is kind of amazing that that you kind of have created this new dynamic of like the purest of pure baby faces in Mark Briscoe and the most scummy of heels in MJF.
Yeah.
And like you are like, Mark Briscoe has been such a delight with everything he's been able to do these last couple of weeks, last couple of months even. It has been so much fun.
Like Mark Briscoe, I was worried when he, had no choice but to go from a tag team wrestler to a single star after, Jay tragically passing away. But he's really come into his own. He's really found like his way to be entertaining without his brother. And that was hard for him to find. But now that he's found it, he is running with it. And it's great.
It is. He tells MJF they need to have a face-to-face talky talk next week without the Hurt Syndicate, if he has any nuts to do so. So that will be coming up this week. I'm excited to see what it looks like because MJF is usually killer on a microphone, but I mean, Mark Briscoe I feel like will be very, very entertaining as well. They're both great on the microphone, but in very different ways. Absolutely. We then have two matches billed as heroes versus villains kind of matches. I think because of the upcoming Superman movie, which is obviously a Warner Brothers thing and whatever. Anyway, the point is, it is the Young Bucks and Takeshita versus Bandito, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. I guess is your three-man all-star tag team match for this week. And it's exactly as great as it sounds like it is. It's so goddamn good. Like, there's no fat. There's no filler. It's great. You get like that triple kind of knee strike from the Bucks and Takeshita at the end to get the victory. You get some crazy like tag team like creative offense from all of them. Like, someone as big and strong as Takeshita is such a wonderful pillar to have for the Bucks to do crazy flippy stuff around.
Yeah.
Same with some of the counters that Bandito pulls out, trying to hit that perfect plex. Like, it's the 21 plex, sorry, not the perfect plex. It's so goddamn good. It's so goddamn good. And then we have Will Ospreay and Swerve kind of come out afterwards to kind of like talk more crap with the Bucks, to try to get them to definitely accept this match against them at All In. They make this counter offer that Will and Swerve will not challenge for the world title for 1 full year if they lose, which Will Ospreay kind of makes, and you watch Swerve go, excuse me? Like, what did you just say? But the Bucks happily say, you got a deal. And then it is all going to come to place. So I like that sets up extra wrinkles of doubt for the tag match at All In. Speaking of that tag team, Swerve and Ospreay versus LFI's Dre Listico and the Beast Mortos is up next. It is also exactly as much fun as those four people sound like they would be in the ring. The kind of combination tag team finishes from Swerve and Ospreay are nuts. To go from like, it was like Stormbreaker stomp on Will into the like finished Stormbreaker. Like, it's so insane. There was like, and then what was it? Dre Listico got the Styles Clash immediately into the house call kick. Like,
yeah,
those are some tag team
like
finishes.
It was sort of shown as being instant chemistry between those two. Like, all the like their individual finishes just blend seamlessly into tag team finishes, and it looks amazing. These two are great.
It looks
so.
Yes, they are. And then your main event was the AEW Continental Championship between Kazuchika Okada and Kota Ibushi. And for anyone that's saying either of these two gentlemen are washed, they threw up a wonderful middle finger to everybody. God damn, that match is so goddamn good. Like, Okada put his working shoes on for a big match. Ibushi is now apparently experiencing modern medicine, which nothing can stop him now. That beautiful, beautiful himbo boy. Ibushi hit a Tiger Driver from the top. It was outrageous. I'm like, it's just...
Technology just happened. What did you say?
Ibushi hit a Tiger Driver from the top rope on Okada. It was outrageous. It was the most perfect thing you've ever seen.
Let's hope so.
Insane that Okada kicked out on that one. And then before hitting the Rainmaker, hits the most picture perfect drop kick you've seen. Like, just kicks him full in the face on a drop kick. Just absolutely spears him with it and then lays in a Rainmaker. Okada does retain his title. Following the match, the Don Callis family come out to kind of pick the bones and beat up Kota Ibushi, but thwarted when Kenny Omega makes the save, runs out and makes his return, reuniting the Golden Lovers to protect Ibushi. They hit Trent Beretta with a German suplex powerbomb combination. It looked awful. Like, they dropped Trent on his poor goddamn head. It looked ruthless. I think the day after, Trent Beretta simply tweeted, "What happened?" which is fair. But you did get this kind of embrace of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi standing strong at the end. Just wonderful to see for anyone who's got any familiarity with both their work in both DDT Pro many years ago and New Japan. having both members of the Golden Lovers relatively healthy and wrestling is just chef's kiss. And yeah, that was Dynamite 300. Honestly, really, really fun show. No, not a single bad match on that goddamn card. Plus, you get the fun at the start of the show with Hangman, leading into All In. So yeah, excited. More excitement building for this coming pay-per-view weekend.
There's so much going on.
Yeah. But also SmackDown.
SmackDown happened as well. Yes, let's go to SmackDown. Cody, we're still trying to figure out. At this point, I think with Cody, we know a heel turn's coming. We just don't know when. But comes out as babyface as ever to start the show. Gives a shout out to a leukemia patient in the audience. Because all right, yep, babyface, we get it. And addresses his win of the King of the Ring tournament and his upcoming rematch with John Cena. Randy comes out, congratulations, and points out that in their match, and this was an important story point, Cody was able to pull the trigger. So we're now the match in Saudi. How it ended was Randy pulled the turnbuckle cover off, and then Cody was able to shove him into the exposed turnbuckle, and then he sort of staggered backwards into a crossroads. But yeah, I think that the previous sort of full babyface Cody would not have taken that advantage, but this Cody did. And
a little bit more mean streak, a little bit more nasty.
That bit of extra viciousness was very much the point that they shone a light on in this promo.
It is still the Cody that a year ago killed AJ Styles for no reason. You know when they did, was it an I Quit match where he quit and then Cody looked at his mom and should I kill him anyway? And mom went, yeah, and he went, okay, and then just threw the stairs. I still don't understand why that happened to this day. And then apparently he was like, I can't be that violent. I'm like, you killed a man when you won already.
Yeah. But his mum asked him to.
True. He wouldn't have done it unless Mama Rhodes said it was okay. So yeah, I guess it's her fault. He's really a nice boy.
Look, if we were having a match and you had the opportunity to kill me and your nan said do it, you'd fucking do it. I would expect you to do it.
I'd have to be like, really? Nah? I mean, I'll do it, but I'm just surprised. But okay, I'll kill him. You sure? Damn. He's going through it today, I guess.
Stop hesitating, Matthew. Get into it.
Sorry. And then murder. Yes. Yeah. Correct. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. You're totally right.
Drew McIntyre comes out, runs down Randy for hesitating to punt Cody. Randy immediately hits an RKO on Drew, and their match is later on. Now, we had the women's tag team title, number one contenders match. So who's going to Evolution for the tag team title shot? We've got the Secret Service, we've got Michin and B-Fab, and we have Charlotte and Alexa. What more needs to be said?
Yeah, I can predict that. We didn't say actually that on NXT, was it Zarya and Sol Ruka got up the nod for the NXT women's part of that match because it's a four-way. So Zarya will be in that match too. Yeah, which is cool. Let's go Delta.
The finish of the match was clever. So this whole time, Charlotte's being her sort of condescending self, and does this condescending kind of pat on the head to Alexa Bliss. The ref counts it as a tag, right? Charlotte then hits a moonsault on Piper Niven, then head kicks Chelsea Green, who'd got up on the apron, and while she's doing that, Alexa hits Twisted Bliss to win on Piper Niven. So it was a cool spot. It was clever. That, yeah, it does that sort of condescending head pat and it counts as a tag. It was cool.
I mean, if a full slap in the face sometimes counts as a tag, that has to count as a tag.
Yeah. The Wyatt Six looked awesome, as always. They had an 8-man tag match against Montez Ford, Johnny Gargano, Humberto Carrillo, and Chris Sabin. The story of the whole match was teamwork, because one was a proper team and the other was not, so it went how you would expect it to. Cool spot at the end. Johnny Gargano steps off the apron and refuses to accept a tag because he can see that Chris Sabin is about to get murdered by Eric Rowan. And that's exactly what happened. And then he got pinned. Tiffany Stratton comes out for a promo, addresses her upcoming match with Jade Cargill at SummerSlam. Because Jade Cargill won Queen of the Ring. And, she congratulates, Jade comes out, congratulates Tiffy for a win over Nia, and vows to win the title at SummerSlam no matter who wins at Evolution, because once again, the champion has just been given the right to pick an opponent for Evolution. Randomly, Trish Stratus comes out. Okay, cool. So she's Tiffany's handpicked opponent, and Tiffany really did a good job.
I can see it.
Yeah. Tiffany puts over Trish on the mic, and Trish basically said she vows to win the championship in front of her children, because now that her children have seen her wrestle, because that was the last time Trish wrestled, and now, she wants to win a championship in front of her kids. And it's sort of warm, fuzzy moment there for Trish, which is cool.
Totally.
Andrade and Rey Fenix had a tag match against Fraxium. Very
cool tag team. Very good idea to put them together as a tag team.
Yeah, two excellent
get them both
tag
doing
teams.
Stuff. Yes.
Great technical wrestling at the start of the match. Particular attention really has been shown to the teamwork and the chemistry between Andrade and Phoenix. They're definitely sort of headed up the ranks in the tag team division. And just very, very good match between two highly talented teams. And Andrade got the pin on Fraxium with the message. It was excellent. Very, very good match, worth going back to have a look at.
Amen.
Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso versus Solo and JC. It was absolute chaos from the start. The babyface work, and particularly the selling from Jacob Fatu, far better than anyone ever expected. Because you've always seen him as this, vicious heel monster. But now as a babyface, he's really just coming into his own. Jimmy Uso, he's as good a seller as he always has been. Jacob gets the hot tag, comes in with the fire and all the all the monster, all the viciousness that you expect from him. Jacob pins Solo with the moonsault at the end of the match. Jacob tries to put Solo through the commentary table afterwards. The Tongans come down. They beat up Jacob and hold him in place to take the Samoan spike from Solo. And then Jacob gets put through the commentary desk by Hikuleo, who is now known as Tala Tonga.
I like it better when it was Taller Tonga, because he's the tall one. That's always been how I pronounce it in my head.
But that's SmackDown. That's all of our WWE programming for the week. Moving on to Collision.
Last AEW show of the week was Collision 100, which was fun. That kind of like simultaneously came up with Dynamite 300 and Collision 100. I like how that worked out. That just made me happy. Adam Cole came out, TNT champ, said like, I'm the TNT champ. And then Kyle Fletcher came out and said, I want to be the TNT champ. I won the Battle of the Kyles. By the way, last week on Collision, they had the Battle of the Kyles between Kyle Fletcher and Kyle O'Reilly. You should put that into YouTube. The crowd is fantastic.
The crowd just railroaded the match.
Yes, they did. It's one of the few instances of the crowd putting themselves over, and it was entirely justified and deserved. It was really, really fun. But Kyle says, I want that. And then Daniel Garcia goes, no, man, I want that. So then they go, hey, how about in the main event tonight when we verse each other, whoever wins that match gets to challenge Adam Cole. And then they went, sweet. So that's kind of sets up the main event for tonight. It'll be Daniel Garcia and Kyle Fletcher for the title match against Adam Cole at All In. Timeless Tony Storm comes up next to cut a promo on Mercedes Moné. I will read this verbatim because it is a very, very good one. This is a message for that little girl watching from home, the one who begged her parents to buy All In so she could sit in front of the television and watch the greatest women's match of all time. It won't be. It'll be a lesson. And the lesson is this: someone can only hurt you as much as you let them. And when they can't hurt you anymore, if they hurt the people you love, the damage done inside the ring, you have absolutely every right to rip their bloody tits off. Some things in life are not worth fighting for, but if you're lucky, one thing in your whole life will be worth every last drop of blood. Fortunately for me, the thing happens to be the big shiny gold belt that I wear around my waist. What you're about to witness will change you in profound ways. Probably your mother too. It won't be nice, it won't be pretty, but you'll remember it forever. Hopefully it'll discourage you from becoming a wrestler yourself, because there are only two kinds of people in the world: the ruthless, greedy, power-hungry megalomaniacs who will stop at nothing to have it all, and the people who end them. Good night, darling. See you next week. God damn, Tony. God damn. It's crazy that this insane of a character can still just lock it in and just be a laser focus.
What is essentially a comedy character can just produce the promos of a lifetime, and that is what Tony has done over the past year or 2 years, since she started doing Timeless. It's just been so good.
Unreal. Un-goddamn real. Our first match of the evening is a three-way match between all of the upcoming competitors, I guess, for the AEW Tag Team titles. Kevin Knight went up against Shelton Benjamin and Nick Wayne, because that will be a three-way title match. That will include Jet Speed, as they are called, the Hurt Syndicate, and Nick Wayne and Christian of the Patriarchy. It is so good. Shelton Benjamin is still somehow so goddamn good. The idea of having both Shelton Benjamin in, I think, his late 40s or 50s, and Nick Wayne, who I'm fairly certain is 21, in the ring at the same time was ridiculous. I think Kevin Knight and Nick Wayne combined aren't as old as Shelton Benjamin, and that is a compliment to Shelton, in no means an insult. It's so good. It is a very, very fun match. Thoroughly worth watching. Kevin Knight gets the win in this one. Kevin Knight kind of hits the UFO frog splash, breaking up a pin that was already underway to get the victory for himself. Claudio is kind of ranting and raving backstage, talks about how he wants to get back at the Ops, which is something that's going to come up next coming Dynamite, where we'll have the Ops integrated in some tag team matches as well. We had a Crazy Trios tag team high-flying extravaganza. It was Roppongi Vice, so Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, as well as Hechicero of now the Domcast family versus Mark Briscoe, Hologram, and Mystico, who made the trip all the way over here. The Faces get a fantastic win on this one, with Mystico hitting La Mystica. He is also then added into the upcoming Casino Gauntlet match. So 3 competitors that we do know are all M's: Mark Briscoe, MGF, and Mystico. I wonder if that will continue. But you have kind of more talking with MJF and MVP appearing on the video screen to kind of talk some more trash between about Mark Briscoe, and also with Mystico there, because they still have that rivalry as well. So a few bits and pieces happening there. Then we had Max Caster come out to do his 5-minute open challenge, and for his mystery opponent to see who's going to come out by saying he's going to be the best wrestler alive and all those kinds of things. And
I love/hate that his chant is actually starting to get traction.
Yep. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler in the world. And then he is challenged by the returning Scorpio Sky, who comes back out with longtime SCU partner Christopher Daniels, along with Layla Gray and Top Flight. And it is really, really cool to see Scorpio Sky back out here. They have a really, really fun, short little match. Sky is in incredible shape. He's still wrestling very well. He does obviously get the win after a fantastic Manhattan drop with their flawless cutter afterwards. And yeah, very, very cool to see Scorpio Sky as well with a group by the looks of things back on television.
Is this like a reforming SCU?
I don't know. God, I hope so. Because I really enjoyed SCU.
Yeah.
And I like Scorpion and Christopher Daniels. I think Frankie Kazarian is still in TNA now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it can't be a full reunion, but I'll take anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're going to replace him with Top Flight. Okay.
Absolutely.
Those guys are amazing.
Willow Nightingale has a nice quick match that goes to power past Vipress. It's always fun to watch Willow Nightingale wrestle. It is always fun to watch, like big power Willow do big power stuff. There we do get shots of Wheeler Yuta and Chris Statlander watching from the monitors backstage, but Statlander didn't look like she wanted to have much to do with Wheeler Yuta. But yes, Willow gets the big win on this one. I'm sure she will be showing up in the Casino Gauntlet match and probably furthering the stories she has going on with Chris Statlander. And then we got FTR versus the Outrunners. God damn, this match is so good. FTR are incredible and can pull a phenomenal match out of their ass with any team, whenever they feel like it. This is the best match I think the Outrunners have ever had, except the stuff they used to do with the Von Erichs back in the 80s down in Texas. But outside of that, this is the best stuff. It's so, so, so good. The kind of the idea that they used to be friends and now they're breaking up, and just like there's the counter to the Shatter Machine, and then the Outrunners hit a Shatter Machine that the whole audience bit on hook, line, and sinker that was the finish. It is so, so, so good, but unfortunately not to be, with FTR picking up the win there over the Outrunners, but thoroughly worth looking up. Most of the matches on YouTube because AEW did upload it, obviously. Yeah, super worth your time to go see that one. There is another 4-on-4, 8-man, or 8-person, I guess, women's match. Athena, Megan Bain, Tekla, Julia Hart, who take on Ty Mello, Anna Jay, Thunder Rosa, and Queen Amanada. It is hard-hitting. It is fast. All the ladies have a fantastic showing with all your various rivalries kind of taking place in this one. The villains do get the win on this one with Big Megan Bain pinning Anna Jay. But it will obviously continue on with all these various teams. I do wonder if it does eventually build to women's tag titles for AEW, because they seem to have enough teams that could do it. And then in the main event, your friend and mine and our boy, Carl Fletcher, secures his TNT title opportunity with a win over Daniel Garcia. It is a fantastic match with very, very competent, like, kind of chain wrestling. But yeah, the right man won, as we have been saying for a number of podcasts now. Hopefully Kyle gets to win his big belt at the big match in the big stadium. But yes, it is a win for Kyle Fletcher, who will be taking on Adam Cole for the TNT title at All In. And that is how Collision number 100 ended, with the Aussie boy winning.
Yes.
Get in. Get in. Speaking of All In, do we want to run down the card a little bit and make some cheeky predictions?
Predictions. We're all about cheeky predictions.
Because I do have it here. I have the card. I can
I've
go
got
through
it in front of me as well. But this is a surprising bit. Like, we knew the card was going to be stacked. That was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Young Buck, from what I can see here, Young Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay is going to open the show.
Oh,
like,
my
imagine
God.
Just the star power and the match quality and all of it. And this is what they're going to start the show with.
I mean, look, if this is their Mania, right? Like, this is their Super Bowl, this is their grand final. So, like, go balls out. I honestly don't know who wins that one. I really don't. I don't want the Bucks to be EVPs anymore because I think that's a good story. But the idea of like Swerve getting mad at Will because of the 1 year thing, that could very easily lead to one of them then winning the world title 1 year's time at All In. That's so hard to pick. I want it to be Swerve and Will, so I'll pick Swerve and Will, but boy.
I mean, having the EVP roles taken away from the Young Bucks, at least on in storyline, definitely gives their characters more places to go. Because of all of the people they've pissed off in their role, now it sort of comes back to them. So it's a lot of that heel comeuppance.
Mm-hmm.
It works either way, but yeah, I would love to see it as Swerve and Ospreay getting the win.
I agree.
So that's what I'll go with.
Let's pick an easier one. Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. Who we got for that one?
I want it to be Kyle because
I think it's Kyle. I think it is Kyle. I think it's his like with all the stuff with the program he did with Ospreay, with all the time that's been invested into him. I think it's his turn, man. I really do.
And I
really do.
He's a star on the rise. But I mean, that's not to downplay Adam Cole at all, because obviously Adam Cole is amazing. Not. But you've got to keep building that momentum behind Kyle Fletcher because he built it himself.
When the iron is hot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going with Kyle.
Okay. What about the tag titles? Hurt Syndicate, which is Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, versus Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, versus Christian Cage and Nick Wayne with the tag team championships.
Could go any of those three ways because, I mean, you don't want to take momentum away from Jet Speed. I mean, they've put the past few weeks of TV have been like heavy on Jet Speed.
I also know you want the Hurt Syndicate to look good, but you can also have them lose without pinning them now because it is a three-way. Yeah. But also, Christian Cage finds a way to win stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But also Nick Wayne is defending his belt the night before, I think it's Supercard. So maybe the idea is that, like, he gets beaten up, like he's too injured, and maybe that's what costs them. Maybe this is where you see Big Cope come back around at some point, because I feel like at some point you reunite like Adam and Christian, so maybe it's that. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard, that one, actually.
I mean, there is a good chance, because we're sort of building dissension in the ranks of the patriarchy, especially regarding Nick Wayne. So maybe if Nick Wayne loses his title before the show,
true.
Christian kicks him out and in comes heel Cope.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't
Look, I'm going to say, based on this current way it's laid out, I'm going to say the Hurt Syndicate. I think there's still
it's too early to take
there.
It off him. Yeah.
I think there's still juice. Plus, I just like the Hurt Syndicate. They're just cool.
Yeah. This is
cool.
This is the run they should have gotten WWE.
Kinda. Yeah, just let them be awesome. We have the Women's Casino Gauntlet match for a future Women's World Championship match. The only entrant we know so far is Chris Statlander. But you could assume Willow Nightingale, Tekla will probably be in there. Like a Megan Bain will probably be in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people there.
They'll empty out their women's locker room. I mean, everyone except Tony and Mercedes, I think.
I'd love Statlander to have a go. I'd love Willow to get the win, obviously, because she's fantastic. If Athena loses the night before, put her in it and have her win immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
that'd
just
work.
Put the jetpack on it. You know what? I'll pick Athena.
Yeah.
She might still have the ROH Women's World Title, and I don't think it matters. I'm picking Athena.
I'm going to go with Willow. She's been away from all of the title pictures for a while. So I think, it'll be her time. Because I think, is it both Casino Gauntlets are for number one contendership, aren't they?
Yes. That's the thing. If Mercedes does win, then you have a very easy... Either Willow or Athena, there's history there with Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's slightly trickier to book Tony and Willow, obviously, for all babyface. Athena is still working heel despite being loved. So it's slightly easier to book Athena and Tony, but yeah, all right. Those are good picks. What about for the men's? So far, Mark Briscoe and MJF and Mystico are the confirmed entrants. You'll probably see Ricochet in it. You'll probably see like a Samoa Joe or something like that. Your Powerhouse Hobbses, your Claudios, your Yudas. Who are we thinking?
I would love to know the injury status of one Adam Copeland.
You think he's gonna win you think he's gonna give him a world championship match again?
No, I think he'll win the gauntlet if he's in it. I don't know if he's ready to come, if he's coming back from injury, or just we haven't.
I
seen
mean,
him
this
for a
could also
while.
be where you put Darby Allin back in.
Yeah.
This could also be where you put Orange Cassidy back in.
I think I saw an article somewhere saying he's going to be out for a while. Like he was.
Look, I don't know.
Injured
I've said that.
bad.
I know Darby is ready apparently, but I feel like Darby's going to show up in the main. Like, because I think the main's going to be a clusterfuck.
Oh yeah, that I'm anticipating that as well. It'll be very, very overbooked.
Mm-hmm. But who we pick? If we had to pick one person, who do you think it is?
You know what? Yeah, Darby. Let's go Darby.
Okay.
Darby's going to return and win.
I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Ricochet. I don't know why. I feel like Ricky might do something ridiculous. I feel like he's the right amount of like Weasley dickhead to be able to win a match like that.
Yeah, especially
kind of sneak it.
If the Gates of Agony are like his teammates now, then
have him kind of like come out and bulldoze some people.
They'd be great heaters just because they're both gigantic
and awesome.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Rick needs. Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, either right. Darby or Ricochet, I think have got it.
All right, let's look at the big three matches then. Winner takes all Continental and International Championship, Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega. Who wins that one? Right?
Yeah, that's...
Because Okada hasn't lost anything?
Yeah.
Is he still undefeated?
Did he go straight through the Continental Classic undefeated?
I don't know if he did undefeated, actually. But, like, he hasn't lost much. Not at all. I'm going to pick Kenny, which is picking with my head. I'm going to pick Kenny. Because I feel like if this is when you're going to give Okada a loss, this is the time to give Okada a loss. But I don't know. I also don't know how much Kenny can wrestle and be around.
Yeah, well, I don't
Given
know
the state of his guts.
His health status is, yeah.
I'm going to pick Kenny. I'm just on
Kenny as well because they've brought back Ibushi. And but that being said, Kenny's got Ibushi, but Okada's got the entire Don Callis family.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'll be tricky. I mean, look, Ibushi's crazy enough to take him. He's a big enough lunatic to get this done.
I think we're both going Kenny on that one.
Women's World Championship match: Timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné.
I mean, Mercedes has been built up so much. She's still undefeated. So, I mean, if there's ever an opportune time to have her lose, it's the biggest show of the year. It's sort of one of those things where if you're undefeated all year, it has to be the WrestleMania equivalent show where you do lose, you know. So yeah, I'm going to go with Tony.
I think it's Mercedes. I don't want it to be.
I can hear that it hurts you to say that, and I completely
don't want
understand.
It to be. I don't want it to be, but I feel like you can't. I feel like the baby faces don't win all three big matches, and like either Mercedes is winning or Okada's winning, and like I feel like it's more likely to be Mercedes. that do like maximum all the belts, wahaha, but like, which I think will upset a ton of people, which I'm perfectly happy with because Mercedes is great. But like, yeah, I think I don't want Tony to lose, but I think she is. I think she is.
Yeah, I understand the logic there, and I want Tony to win. But yeah, it's
Same. I'm with
very,
you, man. No, I'm so with you. And then the final one is the AEW Men's World Championship. Your champion John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page.
So, I remember when Mox first won the title, and
Chris Jericho, yes.
so sorry, at the start of this reign.
Oh, when he killed Bryan Danielson, yes.
Yeah, when he cold-blooded murder of Bryan Danielson. A lot of people right off the bat were going, "Oh, Darby will beat him for it." And I think now that Darby's basically back, he's not like on TV back, but I think this is the event where he comes back. All right, maybe here we go. But at the same time, like the Hangman story makes sense to see him win.
If Hangman Page loses this match, it is booking malpractice.
Yes.
It's so beyond bad.
That should be an actual crime people can be taken to court for.
Yeah. It is what I talked about much earlier, where like I don't know if I'm still watching wrestling if Hangman Page loses this match.
Yeah.
If they do the like, oh, he loses this one next month at All Out is when Darby will beat Mox. Absolutely not. Like, you will be so hard pressed to get me to watch another AEW show for a very long time. Yes. Like, these are legitimately two of my favorite wrestlers on the planet. I really like Jon Moxley. Even through a lot of this reign, some of it has been trash, but there is some wonderful stuff here. But all of his time through AEW and like since leaving WWE, I have legitimately really enjoyed. I think Hangman Page is one of the best characters in wrestling at the moment, possibly ever. It's kind of insane how talented of a storyteller that man is. This match should be incredible, and I'm sure will be, and needs the right ending. This cannot be another... You cannot end your big show of the year with all of this build and your Super Bowl with another way that Jon Moxley like scrapes by holding on to that fucking briefcase. I simply cannot have it. If it does happen, I will not be on this show next week. I'll still be crying. It's just they cannot. Surely they know they can't, but they cannot get this one wrong. This has to be that result. There is no other result.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones effect is 100% in play here, because if you don't stick the landing, you will fuck the whole story.
Yep.
And,
1,000%.
And so, yeah, it's Game of Thrones. Don't fuck this up.
It's great that it's built this much doubt, because every time that some bullshit happens and it looks like Mox is about to retain, ooh, I'm going to bite so goddamn hard. I'm going to bite so goddamn hard. I'm going to be like, oh my God, this is the like, and then wait for the kick out at 2.9999999 and like, oh, I'm going to bite on every one of them.
Imagine if there's run-ins from the Death Riders and Samoa Joe just doesn't show up.
Don't shut up. My other worry is that like you win a Texas death match by like knockout, and like I remember the time when Mox knocked out Hangman with that like clothesline that just went wrong.
That was rough.
You imagine Mox retains by accident. Like there's an injury and he retains by accident.
Was it
like?
Because I know they've done Texas Death before. Was it their match where one of them was like hung by a chain and tapped out?
Yes, Mox was hung by a chain and tapped out.
Yeah.
And then when
And-
Swerve and Hangman did Texas Death, Swerve hung Hangman as like a round full circle to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was when like fucking Mox put he hang his hand between two bricks and stomped it.
Yeah.
Like they got so. I mean, look, these two are nasty. But yeah, this has to be the right result, and it has to be Hangman Page opening up a briefcase and pulling a world title out of it. Like it has to be. It has to be. Otherwise.
Oh,
Yeah, y'all won't see me next week. Y'all just won't. You absolutely won't.
A lot of assumptions have been made about what's in that briefcase.
I've seen that. I legitimately just think it's the world title. I don't think it's a Swerve. I think it's just the belt.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, if they've ever left a door wide open, it's that assumption that the belt is in the briefcase.
If they choose to do it, like this is where if either you unveil like a new belt, I don't think you need to because the AEW title looks beautiful. But like if you do, then like that could be that. I don't know, but like
so
I think it's
remember that pre-recorded interview they did with Renee Paquette and the Death Riders. Yes. And she was asking about the belt in the briefcase, or she was asking about the belt. And Mox is just like, do you want to see it? It looks exactly the same as it did last time you saw it. Like, he's trying to sort of brush it off, which kind of just makes me think, well, maybe there's something else in that briefcase. But
true.
It's possible, but I would like for it to just be the belt and Hangman gets his moment. And because you've got to think about, last time Hangman had the championship, it was
Punk.
He lost it to Punk. And really, if it wasn't for Punk, I think his reign would have been far longer than it was. So this could sort of be a make good.
This is stressing me out. This is stressing me out. Oh, do the right thing. Just do the right thing, please. Oh,
you heard the man, Big Tony. We're listening. We're waiting in hope.
For everyone else, listen to this. This is the classic match that I recommend to you this week.
Yes, it's time. Matty's YouTube clip of the week.
I love that you had to tone it down from noise complaints last.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we got a lot of. What was all the screaming about?
So look, turns out 2005 was a really good year. So the year 2005...
Another 2005.
Shut up. In the year 2005, and let's do another promotion just to add extras. In the land of TNA had, up until fairly recently, their only 5-star match ranked by Dave Meltzer, and it was a triple threat match at Unbreakable between Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels for the X Division title. And it's so good. All three of these guys have like extensively worked with each other before. They all know all their bits. They all know all their moves and how to counter them. And it is very much the three match of these guys know everything, who can do something that the others haven't seen before. And it's so goddamn good. The whole match is on YouTube. It's about 25 to 30 minutes long. The most insane thing that recently came up in that Chris Van Vliet interview with Christopher Daniels is essentially they kind of went home early. They went to the wrong spot and just went, oh no, that was the wrong spot at the wrong time. So then they just had to improvise about 10 minutes and it's still this good. So it could theoretically have been better than this. And like, this is still what we got, despite the fact I had to be like, oh shit, make it up on the fly for 10 minutes. It is, I mean, look, the pedigree of the people between Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, these are all-time legends in TNA, in wrestling in general. These are all-time greats in like some of the prime of their career, putting on an absolutely stellar match. They got given the main event, like over the world title I think because apparently TNA essentially said, we know what you guys are going to do and we can't put anything on after that. Like, there's no point trying to book something to follow it.
Yeah.
So you're remaining. And it's so, so, so good. If you want to see kind of peak mid-2000s ROH indie style wrestling, then yes, Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles at TNA Unbreakable 2005 gets my thorough recommendation.
Absolutely, that is just a tremendous match. Such a tremendous match. Really set the bar for three-way matches.
Mm-hmm. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. I need to go now. I need to lie down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Need to just have a little existential crisis about the main event of a wrestling show.
Well, it shouldn't matter this much, but the fact it does is wonderful, and it's why we love wrestling.
It is 100% why we love wrestling. But that brings us to the end of another episode of the GrapChats Pro Wrestling Podcast. Now, we have quite a lot coming up next week. We have so many shows to cover. We might break it up. Might even break it up into two smaller episodes instead of one gigantic one, because one gigantic.
Do we want to do like weekly shows and then like pay-per-views?
Maybe.
Or do we want to do like
do we
want to do like a WWE show and an AEW show?
That's entirely possible. We'll workshop that through the week because there is so much.
So it's Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, Evolution, Saturday Night's Main Event, All In.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
What have we got ourselves into, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh no, we have to watch more good wrestling.
Oh well.
Unless Goldberg wins, I'll be happy. That's the penance, right?
Yep.
If I'll let you have Goldberg win if Hangman can win. Like, you can have that one.
Yeah.
If I get this one.
Deal?
Like
we got trading. We got a handful of trading cards
Deal?
each. And
yeah. I'll give you a Goldberg if you give me a yeah.
Right. Well, once again, it is time for us to go. He is Matty. I am Steve. You are loved. We will see you next time.
Bye, Nan.